cases are yours, Mr. Chataya?
We
Uh,
ready for him.
Okay, all right. Let me we still have a little bit before 2. Let me make sure that all of the prosecutors are on the line.
all right.
Your Honor,
And
can I give you your reset date?
yes, please.
It's gonna be the 8th of May.
Okay, May 8th. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have a right to have an attorney present at these proceedings. If you do not have a private attorney, we're providing you with the assistance of a public defender this afternoon if you choose to utilize their service. Who do we have first there?
Position number 2.
Yes, sir. Can you pronounce your last name for me, please?
It's Bhagyanagaram.
Yes, good afternoon, sir. Um,
Good afternoon.
Ms. Malgesio, this
Yes,
wouldn't
Your
happen.
Honor.
Good afternoon. This wouldn't happen to be your case, would it?
It is not.
Okay. I'll wait. We'll have to wait for the it's not quite 2 o'clock for the other prosecutors to join us.
Let me text them, Your Honor. I'll be right back.
Okay, thank you.
And Your Honor, position 1 on the add-on calendar and position 5 on the regular calendar. Mr. Douglas is my client and he waived his appearance today.
Okay, thank you. So you have 1, 2, 5, any others?
I do not have number 1. He's been reset throughout all of this week. I'm not sure if Mr. McLean has spoken with him.
So you have 2 and 5?
I have 2. Yes, I have 2, 5, not 6. I have number 7, number 8, number 10, 11, 13, and 13, 14, and 15.
Okay.
And also the add-on for number 1.
And the add-on for number 1, correct.
I went by the medical observation unit, Your Honor, the CALE, Jim Ale. He is incompetent.
Okay. Would you like to file a order for an MHET?
Right. I'm going to get with Paul Bartels and see if he wants me to write it or sign it or if he wants to do it. But one of the two of us will.
Okay, thank you. All right, this is position number 2. Do we have the prosecutor on the line that's handling this matter?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm here.
Okay, good afternoon, Miss Allen.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir, you have been charged in case 25 CR 002132E with simple battery family violence. Is there a history? Good afternoon, Mr. Howard.
Hey, number 2, second arrest, 2019, suspended license dismissed.
Miss Allen?
Thank you, Your Honor. This is an incident from the 23rd, so yesterday, 23rd of April, 2025, took place at, this is a Milton Police Department case, 13085 Morris Road in Alpharetta. The police responded to a domestic at the location, which is the residence where this defendant lives with his wife. Her name is Shiyanka, Shiyyanka, same last name. She reported that during an argument in the car after they dropped their small child off regarding the fact that the defendant had not paid the rent and that this is a continuing issue. He argued with her and then refused to remove her or refused to allow her to exit the car. He then grabbed her by the shoulder once they got home, shook her violently, and physically removed her from the car. She was afraid. She called the police. We did have a chance to communicate with her today. There's limited access for her to communicate. She had to communicate through a WhatsApp with our advocate, but she reports being fearful, having ongoing issues with abuse related to finances. We're asking for a $2,000 SOB through pretrial, Your Honor. Absolutely no contact with the victim in this case or her children. Stay away from the location and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons.
Thank you. Ms. Shayanka is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity. Mr. Chatai?
Thank you, Your Honor. I wouldn't object to this. I would not object to the state's $2,000 signature bond recommend. Was it a signature bond or surety bond? I'm sorry.
It was a signature.
bond.
Signature bond, correct. I would not object to that, Your Honor, but for the known contact and stay away, I would object to my client lives at that address and he still lives with his wife and child or children. And we also heard from pretrial that he doesn't have a history. I looked at his public safety assessment report and he has no convictions and no failures to appear, Your Honor. My client did tell me that he had some stresses going on with finances, but that he's never had an incident at home with his wife. So she's 47 years old. He's lived in Atlanta for the past 16 to 17 years. He has a master's degree in computer science, and he currently works as a quality assurance engineer, and he's been doing that for the past 4 years.
Okay, if she's reporting that she's fearful, it's only been a day. I am going to order that he stay away for the time being. So it will be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further contact with Ms. Shayanka. Stay away from the Morris Road address. He can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings. Third-party transfer of any minor children for visitation. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. If Ms. Shayanka reports at a later time that she wishes to have contact, we'll certainly consider modification of the bond. Good luck to you, sir. I see that we have a Russian interpreter on the line. Is this Mr. McLean's case that needs the interpreter?
Yes, Your Honor, that starts with a G. That's Gardenoff.
Okay, courtroom 2, if it would be possible, while we're doing Mr. Chatai's cases to place Mr. McLean in a breakout room, so that he and I take it, Mr. McLean, you have to discuss the case with your client.
Yes, sir. It'll be pretty brief. He had some English, and we were able to pigeon together several items. I do need to ask him about his workplace.
Okay, I'm happy to give you an opportunity, Mr. McLean. So courtroom 2, whenever you all can facilitate that, please let me know.
Okay.
All
Number,
right, thank you.
position number 7, Mr. Evans.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Evans. You have been charged in case 25 CR 002135B with simple assault family violence and simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
15, resident of Detroit, Michigan. Got an open case out of Michigan for dangerous drugs and a traffic offense. 2019 habitual offender, weapons, felony firearm conviction. 2016 possession of cocaine with intent. Also has history out of Ohio.
Thank you. Ms. Allen?
Your Honor, excuse me. This is an incident that occurred on the 22nd of April. The location is 2178 Boiling Way in Atlanta. The victim is Alion Walker, that's spelled Aliaion. Police were dispatched to a dispute call at that location. The caller reported that the defendant was irate. A second call came in and said that the defendant had forced his way into the basement, the residence there. Officers made contact with Electra Evans, who reported that the defendant, who had been staying there for a period of time, came to the location intoxicated and belligerent towards her children. She asked them to hide from him when he forced his way into the basement. He then made his way upstairs and grabbed Mackenzie and victim Leon that I spoke of previously. The defendant then swung a bottle of liquor at another individual, a child at the location, and the child was able to dodge that strike, but the defendant threw the bottle then and flipped the table in the living room. Your Honor, we're asking, just based on the history, for a $3,000 surety bond. We did speak to the victim, Mrs. Electra Evans. She reported that she and the defendant are no longer married and they don't live together. But he was coming over to help with the children, and that she's recovering from a medical condition. She reports that no one was injured and she does need his help. But she requests that he not be able to live in the home, so no cohabitation, and that he be on his medication, that he follow through with medication compliance and have no violent contact with her and the children. So she's not requesting a stay away, Your Honor, but there are some concerns about being unmedicated and having a diagnosis, and some violence and alcohol. So no drugs, alcohol, or weapons, no violent contact. He may not be there cohabitating at the location, and he needs to maintain medication compliance. Sorry if that was confusing. Thank you. If you would
Thank
sound for Mrs. Evans.
If Ms. Evans is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity. Does not appear so. Mr. Chataya?
Thank you, Your Honor. My client requests a signature bond, but if that's not possible, then the lowest surety amount that the court is willing to give for this case. My client is 57 years old. He may be a resident of another state, but he told me he was a lifelong resident of Atlanta when I spoke with him. He has a GED and he attended Gordon High School. I don't know through what grade, but he was at that high school. Currently, he works as a cook and cashier at a seafood restaurant, and he's been doing that for about 2 months. And he did inform me that he is taking care of his wife the best that he can. So for those reasons, he would like to ask the court for a signature bond or otherwise the lowest surety amount possible.
Okay, for the simple assault, it'll be $1,000 good bond. For the simple battery, a $2,000 good bond makes for a total of a $3,000 good bond. No further violent contact with the alleged victims. Stay away from the incident location. If necessary, he can go back to that location on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Evans. Let's see. I see that we have courtroom 1. I believe that's the gentleman who requires the interpreter. So can we go ahead and place Madam Interpreter, thank you for being here this afternoon for us. We appreciate your help this afternoon.
My pleasure.
Let me go ahead and swear you in. So do you swear or affirm that you will interpret from Russian to English, English to Russian to the best of your ability?
Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Let's see, Miss Grace, can we place Mr. McLean, courtroom 1, and Madam Interpreter into the breakout room, please?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Who do we have in courtroom 2?
Number 8, Frederick.
Good afternoon, Mr. Frederick. You have been charged in case 25 CR 002136A with terroristic threats and acts and criminal trespass and damage to property. It's my understanding that this is Mr. Frederick's first arrest. Ms. Allen?
Thank you, Your Honor. This is an incident that occurred on the 31st of March of this year, 2025. The location is 243 Peyton Place, Southwest in Atlanta. Police responded to that location regarding a dispute. They spoke with the victim. Her name is Amari Wynn, and she reported that she was at her mother's apartment when her ex-boyfriend, the defendant, came over. They wouldn't let him in, and he was yelling for her to come outside, and she refused. When he heard this refusal, he threatened her. He threatened to hit her if she didn't come outside. He then tried to open the door, and he damaged the screen door and the burglar screen door there, which was no longer operable after this incident. We tried to reach out to Mrs. Wynn today, but we're not successful. If you could sound for her in case, we're asking for a $2,000 SOB through pretrial, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons, no contact with Mrs. Wynn, and to stay away from that location, 243 Peyton Place. That is her mother's address, so we would request that the bond order also state wherever she currently lives as well or works.
Amari Wynn is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. Does not appear so. Mr. Chataia, any objection to any of the state's requests?
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay, for each charge will be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1, makes for a total of a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further contact with Ms. Nguyen. Stay away from her address and also the Peyton Place address. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Frederick.
Next is number 10, Mr. Hamby.
Good afternoon, Mr. Hamby. You have been charged in case 25 CR 002137B with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
22. Got an open terrorist threats, obstruction, trespass. 23 CR 003 887B. Open stalking, 24 CR 003 239B. Open trespass, damage to property, 25 CR 001 843B. He was in front of you back on the 7th of this month or the 8th. You gave him $1,000 good bond for that trespass. He got a lot of FTAs within the last 3 years.
Thank you.
That's it.
Ms. Allen?
Thank you, Your Honor. This is an incident at the Publix on Roswell Road. It's 8275 Roswell Road on the 23rd of April. The defendant is a known individual. He's been trespassed from that location multiple times and multiple places in Sandy Springs for disorderly behavior. He's got these open cases that you just heard about. He'd been criminally trespassed April the 17th or so, 2025. And on this date, he was found at the store in front of the location there, and police were notified. He was taken into custody. We'd ask for a $2,000 surety, Your Honor, to stay away from the location and have no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. And we'd ask for a social worker visit.
Thank you. Mr. Chataia?
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to ask the court to consider the lowest surety amount possible. My client is 32 years old. He currently does not have a job and would not be able to afford the surety amount that the state is asking for. And he told me he's about to receive SSI disability checks. He's in the process of getting those. In terms of his residence, he is an Atlanta native. He was born and raised here in the city. He got through school as far as the 12th grade at North Springs High School, though he doesn't have a diploma. Given his ties to the community, Your Honor, and the fact that he would not be able to afford what the state is asking for, that's why we request the lowest surety amount possible.
Okay, there's something going on with Mr. Hamby, Mr. Chataia. We need to figure out what that is so that he doesn't keep coming back. I can't go in the opposite direction. If I gave him $1,000 good bond the last time, I can't continue to give him a bond that he can make to get out, and and he just keeps coming back. So let's see if we can get him some help. I'll take the state's recommendation as far as the $2,000 good bond. Stay away from that Publix, no drugs, alcohol, weapons, and a social worker visit to assess whether or not Mr. Hamby needs an MHET. He'll be back on the SAP calendar on May 8th. Good luck to you, Mr. Hamby.
Number 11, Holmes.
Good afternoon, Mr. Holmes. You've been charged in case 25 CR 002138G with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
2024 FTA, 2024 shoplifting NOLO, 2023 FTA, history out of Florida and South Carolina. You don't have any trespass arrests.
Thank you. Ms. Allen?
Thank you, Your Honor. This is an arrest from yesterday, April the 23rd at 172 Logan Street. Police responded on a call about a criminal trespass. They gained access to the location, which is a vacant unit. They found the defendant inside. He'd been previously criminally trespassed from the location on March the 27th of 2025, where he had been inside the unit and the unit had been recently, the current tenant there at that time had been recently evicted. So he has no reason to be there. He's not a tenant, and he's already been told to stay away. We're asking for a $2,000 SOB through pretrial. Well, actually, we're asking for a surety because he's got those recent failure to appear, Your Honor, and we'd ask for a social worker visit to stay away from the location and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Holmes would like to ask for the lowest surety amount possible. He's 38 years old. He's lived in Atlanta for the past 10 years. He has a GED in terms of his schooling, and he's had a stable employment history as well. Most recently, he currently doesn't work, but most recently, he worked for a moving company. He moved furniture and did that for about 4 years. So given those factors, Your Honor, I would ask this court to consider a surety amount, the lowest surety amount that the court is willing to give.
Is he in need of some assistance with housing? Is that an issue?
He didn't tell me so, Your Honor. I'm not sure if he does need help with housing.
Can I ask him, Mr. Chataya?
You may.
Yes, Mr. Holmes, do you need some assistance from us with housing, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, all right. So I'm gonna have a social worker visit you so that they can assist you with some housing. I think that Mr. Holmes's issue is probably the housing issue. I'm gonna give you the opportunity to work with someone to get yourself some housing, Mr. Holmes. I'm gonna give you a signature bond, but if you don't show back up to court, then they're gonna put a warrant out for you, and I'm not gonna give you a signature bond the next time. But I do want you to talk to somebody. If we have someone there today, Mr. Chataya, that can help him and give him some information regarding housing. So it's going to be a $5,000 signature bond through the jail since he has not had a criminal trespass before. Stay away from that Logan Street address, the social worker visit, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Mr. Holmes, I'm letting you out because I understand your situation. But we're gonna have to get a good address for you when you have one, and you're gonna have to make sure you stay in touch with the court so that when you do have another court date that you don't miss it, okay? All right, I don't want them picking you up and putting you in jail because you missed another court date, okay, sir? All right, good luck to you, Mr. Holmes.
Number 13. McCleskey.
Good afternoon, Mr. McCluskey. You have been charged in case 25 CR 002123J with battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
11, 2021 simple battery, simple assault conviction, 2011 probation. That's all.
Yes, Ms. Melgiza.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident is from April 23rd, 2025. Location is 9995 Old Dogwood Road, Roswell, Georgia. Your Honor, on the day of the incident, officers spoke with the victim, Miss Barbara Masters, who stated that her brother, the defendant, beat her in the left hand unprovoked. The victim sustained a visible bite mark to her left hand that was bruising and had dry blood on it. We did get a chance to speak with the victim. She stated that they lived together at the incident location. She confirmed the events in the warrant. She said that the defendant had been drinking at the time of the incident, and that he had been violent with her in the past, but this is the first time that she called the police. She does want to continue contact, and she stated that she's not in fear of the defendant. Your Honor, the state's recommendation is a signature bond, no further violent contact with Barbara Masters, family violence intervention program, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond. And if we can please sound for the victim, Ms. Barbara Masters, in case she's present and wishes to be heard.
If Ms. Masters is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity. Doesn't appear so. Yes, Mr. Chitania.
No objection to the state's recommendations, Your Honor.
Okay, it will be a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial, level 2, 1-day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Miss Masters, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. McCluskey.
Number 15, Moore.
Good afternoon, Mr. Moore. You have been charged in case 25 CR 002125E with possession of false identification document. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
6, on probation in Clayton County, battery DV, trespass. 2024 trespass. 2023 battery DV conviction. That's all.
Ms.
Yes, Your
Nargiza?
Honor. Thank you. This incident is from yesterday, April 23rd, 2025. The location is Delta Credit Union, located at 1025 Virginia Avenue, Hateville, Georgia. Officers met with the branch manager at this credit union, Ms. Talita Umberhint. She stated that the defendant came into the bank requesting documents related to a bank account belonging to a customer named, the last name is Stinson. And the defendant provided the clerk with a driver's license that had that name on it. The clerk checked the account and discovered that the defendant was not the client Stinson. Customers are required to provide their ID when opening an account, and the bank keeps an electronic copy of their IDs on file. The information on the driver's license that the defendant provided in the driver's license of the customer that was on file were the same except for the picture. The picture on the driver's license on the account was clearly a different person and not the defendant. After the officers spoke with the defendant, he actually identified himself as Mr. Moore and not Mr. Stinson, and the defendant was arrested. Your Honor, given the nature of the incident, the state's recommendation is a $1,000 surety bond. Stay away from Delta Credit Union, located at 1025 Virginia Avenue, Hateville, Georgia. No further contact with the branch manager, the clerk, or anyone else at the location. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons while on bond. And that is all for the state, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to ask the court to, given the nature of the allegations, I'd like to ask the court to consider the lowest signature to the lowest surety amount possible. Otherwise a signature bond, if that's possible. My client's 57 years old. He's a lifelong resident of the state of Georgia. He has a high school diploma. He attended Harper High School. And currently he receives social SSI disability checks. So he would likely be unable to afford the bond that the state is asking for, given his financial situation. So for those reasons, I ask the court to follow my recommendation.
It will be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from Delta Credit Union on Virginia Avenue. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Moore. Who do we have next?
Still holding from Mr. McLean. Everybody else we have is McLean.
Okay, and the add-on, Douglas, are we gonna have that person?
What was
That's
the name?
available.
Douglas, it was an add-on. Do you have the add-on calendar for us?
He waived his presence.
Okay, so can we do that case while we're waiting for Mr. McLean? And is that your last case, Mr. Chitai?
Yes, I have Douglas and I also have Middleton.
Middleton, uh, Middleton's NOD.
Judge, an advocate called me and told me to show up for the Douglas case today. I'm the victim in the situation.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Thomas. We'll be with you. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Your Honor, Middleton, only one charge was NOD. There were two other charges that were not.
Okay, so we're gonna need Mr. Middleton this afternoon. So
Okay.
the charges, just so I'm clear, Ms. Malgees, are those the ones that are on the calendar, the obstructing the highway and criminal trespass?
Yes, Your Honor. It's obstructing a sidewalk and criminal trespass.
Okay, so while they get Middleton for us, let's go ahead and do Douglas, who has a waiver of appearance and charged in case 25 CR 002-140C with battery, 2 counts of simple battery, and another count of battery. Is there a history for Mr. Douglas?
Yeah, 31 on probation for battery. You saw the FS charge I put on there, right?
I did, thank you. Valerie?
So we're looking at the add-on case first.
No, we're looking at Mr. I'm sorry, is this Douglas? Yes, yes, the Adams
Mr.
case, Valerie, yes.
Okay, so he's got two cases. The one you just mentioned is from September the 28th of 2024. It's our add-on calendar case. Officers were dispatched to a dispute at 1082 Metropolitan Parkway Southwest in Atlanta. They spoke to the victim. Her name is Sierra Ketchup. She said she went to visit her male friend who was hanging out with other people, and she noticed that there was a mood change. And the people there thought that the defendant was cheating on the dice game that she was watching. She began to feel uncomfortable and wanted to leave. She asked the defendant to walk with her, and he said no, so she left. She heard the defendant behind her for a period of time and then no longer heard him. She turned around and saw him coming at her aggressively. He approached her and put his hands around her neck and grabbed her. She asked him to stop and tried to walk away. He again approached her from behind and pulled her hair and told her if she kept walking away, he was gonna assault her. He then struck her in the mouth with his hands, knocking her to the ground. She picked up her phone to call the police, and she was seen to have a swollen left side of her face and a busted lip. Based on the history, Your Honor, we're asking for a surety bond. We did speak to Mrs. Ketchup. She said that she was just friends with the defendant. They never lived together. She confirmed what happened. She said she wasn't strangled, but was just grabbed during this incident. She's got no contact with him since, and she doesn't want any contact. So she's in fear. We're asking for a $4,000, excuse me, surety bond. On that case, no contact with Mrs. Ketchup, to stay away from wherever she lives or works, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. And if you would sound for Mrs. Ketchup, thank you.
Ms. Ketchup, I see you on the line. If you wish to address the court, now is your opportunity. I will need for you
I'm
to-
from July. I'm not Miss
I
Ketchup. Miss
understand,
Ketchup.
I understand,
Oh,
Ms. Thomas. I'm not speaking to you.
oh,
I
okay.
see Ms.
Oh,
Ketchup's
okay.
on the line also. I'll be with you,
Oh,
Ms.
okay.
Thomas.
I'm sorry.
I haven't forgotten you, Ms. Thomas, okay?
Oh no,
All right,
I just thought you thought I was that person. I'm sorry.
okay. Ms. Ketchup, I see you there. If you would like to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. You certainly don't have to, but if you would like to, I'll need for you to unmute yourself, activate your camera, and I'll have to swear you in. Does not appear that she wishes to address the court this afternoon. Can we go on to position number 5, Ms. Allen?
Yes, Your Honor. Position number 5 for Mr. Douglas is a July offense. It was reported on the 17th or 19th of July, excuse me, 2024, but it's actually an incident that took place over a few days. Police were called to the location, 717 University Avenue Southwest. This is an apartment there. They tried to make contact. Somebody had called 911. A third party had actually. And when they tried to make contact with the victim there at the location, they were unable to from the front door entrance. They called 911 dispatch to try to speak to whoever called and were told that there might be a backdoor entry that was open. Police went to the back door and were able to make contact with the victim. Her name is Jaslyn Thomas, and she had a blood clot in her eye that was visible to police. And she'd been struck in the face multiple times. She reported that the defendant had come to her home a few days before. She'd asked him to leave. He may have been staying there for a period of time, and I don't know that that was because she wanted him to. I believe he just started bringing his things to her home. She reported that they argued, that she was afraid to call the police, that he took her phone, I believe, so she was unable to call. And so when she ultimately was able to make the report, she had these visible injuries. This case was transferred over to a domestic violence investigator who followed up and took out this warrant, Your Honor. But a reading of the report details that there may have been more going on, and this could be an ongoing investigation and maybe in the future a felony upgrade. But for today's purposes, we have this two counts, I believe. We are asking for a $2,000 surety to stay away from wherever Mrs. Thomas may live. She has moved from that location, have no drugs, alcohol, or weapons, and have absolutely no contact with her. And if you would sound for Mrs. Thomas.
Thank you. Ms. Thomas, if you'll raise your right hand for me, please, ma'am. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can place your hand down. Thank you, Ms. Thomas. What would you like to tell the court?
So, first off, the police completely, like, when they showed up, they already had an idea of what they thought was going on, and they just really did not want to help, which is why I never received medical attention. I had been stabbed. I had beat with an aluminum bat. First off, they initially entered, like, first third parties was calling for days from the 12th up until this, and they were showing up outside and they were not coming to the building. They were telling the neighbors that were calling that they could not enter the front door, and they let them know there was a back door entry. They were not coming into the back door entry because the back door stairs was broken and they could easily enter the building, and my back door was already kicked in, broken in half. So they could have easily entered my apartment. However, I was able to email some Caucasian friends of mine after I realized my daughter's tablet was under the bed because I was hiding in a room. I had my daughter stuck in a closet. She was 2 years old at the time. I was able to locate her tablet because one night I just saw it glowing under the bed. I started emailing some of my Caucasian friends, and at that point they made a big deal. They kept calling, kept calling, kept calling. So eventually, police showed up. From what the police told me, they initially went to the broken door, and they did not enter. They said they didn't hear anything, so they decided to come around the front, where it would actually be harder to get in. I talked to them at my front door, not at the broken door that was kicked in because they could have easily entered. Okay. Um, I had to run out the room and take a risk. As soon as I opened the door, the first thing I said, he just ran in the room and my baby's in there. He has a knife. They refused to come and remove him. They tried to convince me that his name was on my lease. At some point, they kept leaving me there. I had a stab wound as well because when he initially came in, he came in through my back door, my kitchen door. And right on my counter, I had a large jar, glass thing with all like my knives and utensils and stuff in it. He grabbed the knife, and came at me, but I was waking up. It was about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. This is usually the time I would get up and get ready for it, get my child ready. And prior to this, I met him 2 weeks prior to this, because some of my cousins came over and they wanted to buy drugs, and somebody directed them in the direction of this young man. And I wasn't aware of everything until I told my cousins what happened. They was like, "Oh well, da 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 da," just that they told me more. But at the time, they used my car. They drove up the street to wherever that people directed them to. They met him, and they asked me. All they told me was, "This is their friend. Can I give him a ride?" At that point, I continued to allow him to ride in my car. He gave me gas money, and that's as far as it went. With another young lady, I guess he was having a problem, and he wanted to move out of her house.
Yes, Ms. Thomas. Just tell me what he allegedly did to you.
No, that's what I'm getting to. So the issue started when he was trying to move out of somebody else's house.
Okay, get
Yes.
to it for me, please.
Oh, that's right now. So the incident where he's kicked in my door was because he was trying to move out of another young lady's house. And the day prior to this, if he could move in with me, I told him, no, I don't know you like that. So 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm getting up, I'm about to get me and my daughter ready. He kicks in my door. The first kick, I have a neighbor whose grandfather had dementia, so he sometimes tried to get in my door. So I said, stop, get away from my door. And I was just listening. So there was a second kick. At that point, I called 911. Third kick, he was in my house. He grabbed a knife. He came at me. I ran at him because my fear is somebody getting to my daughter. So I usually sleep in the living room. My phones and everything are in there. So I just run straight through the kitchen. I go at him at the same time he's coming at me. We're fighting. My daughter comes out the room because she hears the commotion. I immediately just grab her. I stop fighting. I grab her, trying to get into the bedroom. He stabs me. At the point that he stabbed me, I just rushed to get my daughter into the closet, and he got this easel. I actually brought this easel downstairs. It has a chalkboard on one side and a whiteboard on the other. He hit me and I was unconscious for a while. After I woke up, I immediately tried to run out of my house because I didn't know if he was still there. I was just glad that my body was still pressed against the closet where my daughter was. So I got her out the closet. I ran her outside. I tried to run outside and he was still in the house. He attacked me again with my aluminum baseball bat and hit me in my head with it. I was unconscious again. I don't know how long. All I know, I woke up, my legs wouldn't work, and my daughter was just in my arms. Thank goodness. And at that point, he was still there. He was talking to me like I was his girlfriend. I just went and ran back in the room, and I locked myself in the room. Like maybe a day or two later, I tried to run out when I thought he had left the house. I tried to run out again. Um, and I was attacked again. He started throwing knives at me. At this point, I had my child with me, so I ran back in the room, and I just stopped trying to go anywhere up until the point that I found the tablet under the bed, which is when my car. I was emailing them like, "Hey, can you all send?" I was like, my car didn't because my car payment was due, but I didn't have access to my phones. So from the tablet, I emailed them. I emailed the young ladies who called the
Stop
911.
right there for me. Okay, stop right there. I'm
Mhm.
going to have the victim advocate stay in touch with you. This is only a bond hearing today. I think I've
Mhm.
gotten the essence of what you want to tell me. You'll have the opportunity to tell your entire story at a different time. But I
Mhm.
have the essence of what happened to you. I'm so sorry that that happened to you, ma'am. I'm directing that the victim advocate stay in touch with you to let you know where this case proceeds to. Okay, but
Okay,
I
and just one more thing.
I,
He also
I
stole my car, just
appreciate
so
you
you know
being.
that.
Okay, and that's why he's also charged with theft by taking. Okay, so
Okay.
he's charged with those two charges. All right,
Okay.
thank you for being here this afternoon, Ms. Thomas. We
Thank you.
appreciate it. Mr. Jatai?
Thank you, Your Honor. My client would ask this court to consider a surety amount within the $1,000 to $2,000 range for each case. He's 37 years old, a lifelong resident of Atlanta. He didn't finish school. He got through school as far as the 11th grade at Carver High School. He currently does not have a job, and he would struggle to afford the amount that the state is asking for, and he hasn't had a job in a while either. According to the Odyssey screen for him, he's here on a number of other cases as well. I believe he has a case in Superior Court that's also keeping him. So for those reasons, Your Honor, I ask the court to consider my recommendation instead.
Okay, on the add-on, position one, for each of the charges will be $1,000 good bond, makes for a total of a $4,000 good bond. No further contact with Sierra Ketchup. Stay away from her residential address. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. For position number five, for the battery will be a $4,000 good bond. For the theft will be a $1,000 good bond. Makes for a total of a $5,000 good bond. No further contact with Ms. Thomas. Stay away from her residential address. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Okay,
Your Honor, what was the bond for the add-on?
it was 4,000 good, 1,000 per charge.
Okay, thank you
You're welcome.
both.
And were we able to get Middleton?
Yeah, we have him.
Okay, let's take him next so that I can release
Hold
Mr.
up.
Jataya.
He's position number 14.
Okay, thank you. And that's your last one, right, Alex?
Yes, Your Honor, yes.
Your Honor, do we have our Spanish interpreter for Mr. Laguna?
No,
Let's see, Miss Grace, did we know that we needed a Spanish interpreter?
Yes, sir. She said she'll be signing on around 2:30, but she was aware from yesterday. So she hasn't
Okay.
signed on yet, but she is aware.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Miss Grace. Mr. Middleton, you have been charged in case 25 CR 002124C with obstructing a highway, street, or sidewalks or other public passage and criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
15 on probation for arson in the first. Terrorist threats, ag assault, burglary in the first. Got an open shoplifting in state court. Open PI charge as well. 2023 probation, 2021 probation. They got a lot of probation. Homeless. That's all.
Thank you. Ms. Valgizo?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident is from yesterday, April 23rd. The location is the sidewalk of 1539 Piedmont Avenue Northeast and Publix located at 1544 Piedmont Avenue Northeast. Officers observed the defendant on the sidewalk surrounded with trash. The officer recognized the defendant because he had advised him in the past that he cannot block the sidewalk with trash. This officer has even helped him clean the trash before. The trash that he was collecting created a risk for pedestrians because it was blocking the sidewalk, causing pedestrian traffic to walk on the street, to have to go around the trash. On this date, the defendant also had in his possession a Publix shopping cart. According to the officer, the defendant has been told numerous times not to remove shopping carts from the business area of Publix. This Publix is located across the street from the sidewalk where the officer first made contact with the defendant on the day of the incident. Your Honor, based on the criminal history and the fact that this has happened multiple times, the state's recommendation is a $500 surety bond. Stay away from Publix, located at 1544 Piedmont Avenue Northeast. A social service visit to determine if a BHET is necessary, and in case there are any needs regarding housing, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. That is all for the state.
Mr. Chutani?
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to ask the court to consider a signature bond if that's at all possible. My client is 34. He would not be able to afford, but I don't think he would be able to afford a surety bond. He's currently on SSI disability. He's out of work. He's lived in the Atlanta area for the past 20 years, and he has some college behind him. He attended a university for about 1 year studying psychology, and apart from that, he has a high school diploma. But, given the nature of the offense as well, I would ask the court to consider a signature bond, and I would not be opposed to a social worker visit for housing.
Okay, we need to get Mr. Middleton some assistance. So I do want him to have a social worker visit to assist with a BHET and to assess for a BHET and assist with housing if necessary. At this time, it'll be a $250 good bond per charge, makes for a total of a $500 good bond. Stay away from that Publix on Piedmont Avenue, the social worker visit, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Middleton.
Okay, those are all my cases, Your Honor, and I don't have any others. May I be excused?
Yes, we'll see you next time. Have a good rest of your day.
All right, thank you for working with me on this, Your Honor, and I'll see you all next week.
Okay, very good. Who do we have next?
Good afternoon, Judge Morrow. I have position number 4, Ms. Clark.
Okay, good afternoon, Francois. Let's see. Ms. Chantel Clark. Good afternoon, Ms. Clark. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have a right to have an attorney present for these proceedings. We're providing you with the assistance of a public defender or conflict attorney if you choose to utilize their service. Ms. Clark, you've been charged in case 25 CR 002133C with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
3rd, 2012 theft.
Ms. Allen?
Thank you, Your Honor. This is a dual arrest. Police were called on February the 9th, 2025. So there's been a active warrant outstanding for a period of time in Union City. The location is 5750 Buffington Road. Police were called about a dispute there. They spoke with the victim and co-defendant, Delvin Brossett, Brossett, who said that he and the defendant, his ex-girlfriend, got into an argument because he was leaving to go to work, and she took his car keys and moved his car. She then threw his car keys off the balcony at the location into the bushes in front of the building, preventing him from being able to leave. They then got into a physical altercation, and she was injured as a result. When police were speaking to the defendant, she admitted that she had thrown the defendant's keys, and that she didn't know where they were. We're asking for $1,000 SOB through pretrial, Your Honor. No contact with Delvin Brossett, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons, and to stay away from wherever he is living or working. I'm not sure what the status of the residential situation is at this point. Thank you.
Val, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. We are okay with the bond recommendation made by the state. We would prefer, however, no further violent contact, Your Honor. My understanding is that my client lives there, but what she tells me is that the lease is actually in his mother's name. And apparently they do speak to each other from time to time. That was my understanding, at least through mom. But the residence is in mom's name, so she would prefer not to have the restriction of not being able to speak with him. But if that is what the court orders, she'll go along with it. She tells me that she is currently a college student, Your Honor. And she is a longtime resident of Atlanta. And it doesn't sound like there was anything significant. I'm not sure exactly what was alleged against the boyfriend, but based on what my client tells me, the incident between them was not particularly serious. Nothing further, Your Honor.
He
Alan,
has an open case.
I'm sorry.
What was he charged? What was he charged with? And
Let me pull it
has
up.
he gotten a bond on that? And what were the restrictions, if you don't mind?
Of course.
While she does that, Ms. McLeod, the Buffington Road, just so I'm clear, the Buffington Road address is whose address?
My understanding is that it's in his mom's name. His mom doesn't live there, but the premises are in her name.
Okay.
Your Honor, he came through when this incident happened. His bond signed by you on the 13th of February says no further contact. And it's a $2,000 bond through SOB bond through pretrial, Your Honor. I would respond by saying that it appears that no contact is what's appropriate here between these two people. I'm not sure if they are continuing to live together at the house where it's in his mother's name, but his mother doesn't live there. And that's why we're asking for contact at this point, or the victim or the defendant is, excuse me. But the state has some concerns about contact and continued safety, and seeing as you ordered no further contact in your order on the co-defendant, we'd ask for the same.
Okay.
Your Honor, they do
So-
not live together. I did not know there was a no further contact, but based on what my client tells me, they do not live together, and she has not really been in contact with them, but she and the mom still have a good relationship.
Well, she's not to be in touch with him and he's not to be in touch with her, as I've already ordered that he not be in touch with her. So
I
for Miss,
understand, Your Honor.
it will be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail since this is her first criminal trespass. No further contact with Mr. Rochette. Stay away from his residential address. I think that's the Buffington Road address. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Clark.
Thank you, Your Honor. That concludes my business before the court today. May I be excused?
Yes, we'll see you next time. Thank you for your help, Ms. McLeod. We appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
Francois,
Thank you.
do you have any other cases today?
Yes, I do. Thank you, Judge. I also have position number 16, Miss Angela Morrow, but she waived her appearance. If we can also do her case now as well.
Okay. I'm familiar with Ms. Morrow. I think that we all are familiar with Ms. Morrow. Is this your case, Mr. McLean?
It
Or-
is. I spoke to Miss Morrow on the phone, and I also today spoke to Tiffany, her niece, to inform her of where she is. Tiffany informs me that she's been helping her out by trying to sort of be like a payee, but that she didn't know that Miss Morrow was back in jail as of this moment. She was aware that she had gotten out in, what was it, March. So at least she appreciated being informed of where she is, and now she has an opportunity to see if she can help some more. In the meantime, Angela Morrow today waives her presence, and we would ask the court to fashion an appropriate bond for her according to her record and according to the allegations of today. She is in need of help, and I'll get a social worker to see what's up.
Okay, we're gonna place her on the competency calendar, regardless, because like I said, I'm familiar with her. She's been before us a number of times. So on this occasion, Ms. Morrow is charged in case 25 CR 002126H with criminal trespass. You don't have to give me the history, Mr. Howard. Ms. Melgizo, would you like to give me the facts?
Yes, Your Honor. This offense is from April 22nd. Location is Grady Hospital, located at 80 Jesse Hill Junior Drive, Northeast, Atlanta, Georgia. Officers spoke with Grady Public Safety Security Officer, who stated that the defendant refused to leave the location after receiving treatment. The security officer and a nurse asked the defendant to leave multiple times. She refused. She then started yelling inside the emergency room. There was a previous incident on April 21st, same location. The defendant was creating disturbance in the emergency room. She was yelling at other patients and beating her cane against the walls and windows. Instead of arresting her, the officer actually transported her to the Policing Alternatives and Diversion Initiative Center, PAD. However, while at a PAD, the defendant vandalized the shower room, and she's now being banned from the location. Your Honor, as you said, you're familiar. She has several criminal trespasses. Same place, Grady. The last time she was convicted, it was March 27, 2025. For these reasons, the state's recommendation is a $500 surety bond. Stay away from Grady unless medical emergency, social service visit to determine if a VHET is necessary, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while on bond. And that is all for the state, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. McLean, if it's okay with you, I'm going to accept the state's recommendation. I'm also going to place her on the May 1st competency calendar instead of waiting 2 weeks. Because I know that we've worked with her in the past, that we've gotten her housing or whatever. So if we can get her out of custody and stabilized before the 2 weeks or at that next May 1st calendar, that would be helpful. So if you have the social worker, I guess visit with her and report back.
Yes, we'll try that. And might I ask the deputy if are we still in contact with ACDC?
Yes, they're here.
Okay.
Yes,
Please let Miss Morrow know that the phone number for Tiffany, her niece, was correct, but the other phone number was not, just for her reference.
Okay,
Thank you.
Okay, S is a $500 good bond, social worker visit, stay away from Grady Hospital unless there for medical treatment, and the competency calendar on May 1st. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you,
All right.
Judge.
We'll see you next time. Thank you. Who do we
Number
have next?
Number 18, Ms. Scott.
We do have the Russian case.
Okay, so since Ms. Scott is there, let's go ahead with Ms. Scott, and then we will do that one next. Good afternoon, Ms. Scott. You've been charged in case 25 CR 002129D with simple battery family violence. It's my understanding that this is Ms. Scott's first arrest. Ms. Melchizo?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident is from yesterday, April 23rd, 2025. The location is 665 Fern Brooks Drive, Southwest Atlanta, Georgia. Officers spoke with the victim, Denise Wilson, who stated that her and her daughter, the daughter being the defendant, got into a verbal dispute. During this verbal dispute, the defendant got into the victim's face and hit her with a closed fist on the right side of her face. Your Honor, we did get a chance to speak with the victim. She confirmed the events in the warrant. She stated that this is the first time the defendant has been violent towards her. She's not in fear of the defendant, and it's okay with contact, but she does not want the victim to leave at the location. She wants her to move out. Your Honor, the state's recommendation is a surety bond through pretrial services, family violence intervention program, no cohabitation with the victim, Denise Wilson, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while on bond. And if we can please sound for the victim, Ms. Denise Wilson, in case she wishes to be heard. That is all for the state.
If Ms. Wilson is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so.
Okay, hi,
Yes.
good afternoon. Yeah, I'm the
Good
mother,
afternoon.
so
Yes, hold on,
yeah,
Ms. Wilson. Can you raise your
okay,
right hand for me, please?
okay.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can place your hand down. What would you like to tell the court, ma'am?
I would just like to say that, yeah, I mean, the incident from yesterday, the argument got heated. Me and Tia really don't have a violent background, and I'm not afraid of her, and I wouldn't mind if she come home. I mean, she has her children to tend to, and she does have a career job, so um. So I'm not going to press any charges on her. I just feel like like you said, you're going to basically recommend some type of therapy or family something for her. And I think those are things that she actually needs to do.
Okay, so does she currently live with you at your home address?
She does.
And you're telling me now that you don't, you're not afraid of her?
No, I'm not afraid of her at all.
And has this happened before?
We've gotten into numerous arguments before, but for her to hit me like she did, no.
Okay. And do you want her to come back to the residence or not?
She can. I'm just giving her a time to remove herself from the residence. I think just right now, with the grandkids being in school, so and with the way her wages are with her job and stuff, she probably wouldn't be able to do anything until the first. So I do plan on telling her that, or you can let her know that she will have to move by the first of the month.
Okay. So my concern is not with all. My concern is for you, Miss Wilson, and that this allegedly happened not too long ago. You say that you don't mind contact, but you want her to move out. I can order that she moves out now, if that would be your preference.
I would say May 1st, because right now I know she's not capable of doing it right now, of
Okay,
today.
but that is not my concern, whether or not she can. If I order that she's not to have that she's not to live at that residential address, she'll have to make different arrangements at the present time.
Yeah, okay. So you don't have to do that because like I said, the kids are in school and they're in this
Okay,
area. So I don't
Okay.
want to disturb the kids going to school right now. But I know by the 1st, she'll be able to make arrangements to make that happen.
All right. Thank you for being here this afternoon, ma'am.
All right.
Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, Tia Scott, Tayaja Scott, I'm not sure how to pronounce her first name, is 29. Your Honor, I'm thinking that in this situation, the signature bond would be great, but I'm not sure the DVIP is necessary at this point, maybe anger awareness, from what I'm picking up on here.
Okay. As such, it will be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1 day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Ms. Wilson, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Scott.
Interpreter case number 9.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Vardanov. You have been charged in case 25 CR 002109E with criminal trespass and simple battery family violence.
Здравствуйте, добрый день, мистер Горданов. Вы обвиняетесь, два обвинения. Первое, то, что вы зашли не на свою территорию, и второе, в нарушении закона, который называется рукоприкладство.
Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Спрашивает у вашего адвоката, или были какие-то нарушения в прошлом?
Second arrest, 2021 alien inadmissibility.
Ответ идет о том аресте, который был на границе, о котором вы упомянули.
Jesus?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident is from April 15th, 2025.
Случилось это 15 апреля 2025 года.
The location is Woodhaven at Parkview Bridge Apartments, located at 15000 Parkview Lane, Alpharetta, Georgia.
Значит, место произошедшего по вышеуказанному адресу в Альфарете, который вы только что слышали.
Officers spoke with the victim, Polina Paklopkova.
Полицейский разговаривал с пострадавшей Полина Поклопкова,
Who stated that she was in the parking lot of the incident location for a custody exchange of the child that she shares with the defendant, who is 4 years old.
которая сообщила о том, что произошедшее произошло на парковке в момент передачи, да, или обмена ребенком у пострадавшей и у вас общий ребенок 4 лет.
The victim and the defendant are in the process of separating.
Пострадавшая, а также обвиняемый находятся в процессе разделения, да, расхода, не развода, а separation, раздельного проживания.
While the child was in the car, the victim and the defendant started arguing, and the defendant took the glasses off of the victim's face.
Значит, ребенок находился в машине, взрослые между собой стали о чем-то спорить, после чего обвиняемый взял очки с лица пострадавшей.
He threw the glasses on the floor. The glasses were valued at $250.
Бросил очки на пол, стоимость очков $250.
When the officer arrived, he saw the victim picking up pieces of the glasses from the floor.
Когда приехал полицейский, он наблюдал, как пострадавшая собирала с пола осколки этих очков.
The witness, who was the person that called 911, with someone that lives at that location and saw the altercation?
Свидетель — это тот человек, который наблюдал случившееся и набрал номер 911.
The defendant was gone from the location by the time the officers arrived.
К моменту прибытия полицейского обвиняемого уже там не было в этом месте, уже уехал, ушел, исчез.
The victim did had a TPO against the defendant, and this was requested on April 21st, 2025 in Gwinnett after the incident occurred.
У пострадавшей имеется постановление суда от 21 апреля 2025 года. Это временное ограничение контакта с потерпевшей, которое было получено уже после инцидента.
The TPO says that there must be no further contact with the victim or the child, initials MG.
I'm sorry, this is an interpreter. What does it mean, initials MG?
The initials of the child, because he's a minor.
Got it. Thank you for clarifying.
Thank you.
Значит, смотрите, в этом приказе обозначено, чтобы не было контакта между вами и пострадавшей, а также между вами и ребенком. Имя ребенка указывать нельзя, поэтому только инициалы MG.
The state's recommendation is a signature bond through pretrial, family violence intervention program, no further contact with Ms. Polina Pakalkova or the child, and stay away from 15000 Parkview Lane, Alpharetta, Georgia. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
Drugs or weapons on bond. Окей. Значит, мы со стороны штата предлагаем следующее наказание: выпустить обвиняемого под залог и его подпись на условии нет контакта с пострадавшей, а также с ребенком, а также не приближаться к вышеуказанному адресу, там 15000, который в Альфарете, и пока обвиняемый находится под воздействием этого залога, не имеет права употреблять алкоголь, наркотики или владеть огнестрельным оружием.
If we can please sound for the victim, Ms. Pakolkova, in case she's here and wishes to be heard.
Мы также должны уточнить, или здесь присутствует или слышит этот разговор пострадавшая мисс Какого, если она что-то хочет добавить.
If you'll sound for her, Madam Interpreter, for me, please.
Do I ask for Miss Paulina?
Yes, please.
Окей. Скажите, пожалуйста, мисс Полина, присутствуете ли вы в данный момент на нашем вот этом заседании? Слышите ли вы меня? Okay, this is an interpreter. I was asking if Miss Paulina is present right now and is able to hear the interpreter. Get no answer thus far.
Thank you. Mr. McLean?
Point of clarification, I was a little, did I understand correctly that the TPO was after this incident, not before?
Yes, Mr. McLean. The incident is from April 15th and the TPO was taken out on April 21st.
Okay, then I did hear correctly. Thank you. Your Honor, Mr. David Gardenoff is age 36. He has a 5-year degree, but it's a regular bachelor's degree in the field of international trade and markets. It is from a
Mr. McLean, are you going to want Madam Interpreter to interpret this or not?
Yes.
Okay, then
I'll pause.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Значит, уважаемый суд и судья, наш обвиняемый мистер Дэвид Горданов, 36-летний человек, который имеет образование, 5-летнее образование в университете, которое приравнивается к бакалавру образования. Go ahead, please.
And he has a business with involving cars.
Значит, который также имеет участие, принимает участие в бизнесе, связанном с автомобилями.
The inadmissibility thing mentioned was an arrest in 2021, which was cleared up on the spot and is not a problem now, he tells me.
Что касается относительно ареста 2021 года, значит, этот вопрос был решен прямо на месте и на сегодняшний день не представляет никаких беспокойств.
So we would ask the court to consider a signature bond.
В связи с этим я прошу суд рассмотреть возможность отпустить под залог требуемой подписки обвиняемого.
Thank you.
Спасибо.
For the criminal trespass, it will be $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. For the simple battery family violence, it will be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. Makes for a total of a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1.
По первому обвинению нарушение личного пространства залог 1000, по второму обвинению рукоприкладство 2000, в сумме 3000, залог достаточно будет подписи для того, чтобы вас выпустить под этот залог.
No further contact with the alleged victim or the child. Stay away from her residential address. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond.
Помимо этого, никаких контактов с пострадавшей, с ребенком и не приближаться к месту проживания их. Также, пока вы находитесь под воздействием этого залога, нельзя употреблять и иметь в наличии алкоголь, наркотики, огнестрельное оружие.
Talk to you, sir.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Good luck to you, sir.
Judge, let him know he got to report the pretrial since he don't speak English.
Okay.
What is it, once
So,
a month, right? You said level 1?
yes. So, Mr. McLean, you're going to have to explain to your do you need to explain to your client what pretrial is?
I think so, Your Honor. We covered some ground, but we didn't cover pretrial services.
Вопрос,
Okay.
который был поднят полицейским, да, в том, что, значит, вам нужно же будет отмечаться там раз в месяц, появляться, и вопрос, который занял полицейский, а как же мы справимся без языка? Судья просит вашего адвоката объяснить вам, как это все работает.
So he will need a Russian interpreter for orientation, correct?
Yes.
I have
То
to
есть
let them know.
мы должны организовать для вас переводчика на ориентацию, да, то есть когда вы встретитесь с полицейским и там будете заполнять бумаги, и вам будут объяснять, что от вас требуется, вам нужен будет, они должны предоставить переводчика.
Anything else, Mr. McLean?
Just a question, Mr. Howard. Would that be able to be arranged tonight, like with other folks?
Say that again?
Would he be able to get that orientation, or at least enough of it to get out tonight, like other folks?
I don't know. I mean, the orientation is when he reports to supervision, but the directions and instructions for supervision and all that is in English.
Okay.
Ну вот ваш адвокат просто спросил, может быть, прямо сразу дату мне дадите, когда нужно назначить переводчика для этой ориентации. Ответ был такой, что когда вы появитесь, когда они с вами должны будут вот этот первый контакт, тогда и потребуются услуги переводчика, чтобы все вам объяснить.
Thank you.
Number 3.
Thank you, Madam Interpreter. We appreciate your assistance this afternoon.
Thank you very much for using my services. Have a good day, everyone. Я с вами прощаюсь. До свидания. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Tell me again, courtroom 2.
number 3, Brown.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Brown. You have been charged in case 25 CR 002128J with theft by shoplifting. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Who is this?
I don't see him on the sheet. It's
Yeah, he
Oleg.
wasn't on my pull sheet.
But he's on the calendar, his position number 3.
I have
State.
him. I do. I got it.
That's fine.
Your Honor, the criminal history, this gentleman is a convicted felon out of North Carolina. He's also got federal convictions as well as Georgia convictions. Most of them are for theft, breaking and entering, burglary. He was just convicted of entering aggravated assault, excuse me, in Gwinnett County. That disposition was February the 11th, 2025. This case is one count of shoplifting from April the 23rd of 2025 at about 3:16 p.m. Officers were called to the location where they spoke to employees and security. They had detained the defendant who had been seen and was on surveillance, taking items off the shelves, personal items, and putting them inside of his pants. He was detained and still had those items on him. An inventory was done. It was about $218 worth of items. He was then arrested. He is listed as homeless, Your Honor. We're asking for $1,000 surety to stay away from that target. It's specifically 375 18th Street Northwest, and we'd ask for a social worker visit and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons.
McLean?
Your Honor, thank you. Olin Brown has been in Georgia over 25 years. He tells me he doesn't need any housing advice from a social worker because he lives on Hunter's Cove in Powder Springs, according to the paperwork I saw, and he confirmed that was a good address for him. The commercial cleaning and cooking in several restaurants is his job history. He completed high school and a couple of years of college. We would ask the court to consider a signature bond with appropriate conditions. Thank you.
Okay, it'll be $1,000 good bond. Stay away from the target on 18th Street. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Brown.
Number 17, Grocer.
Good afternoon, Mr. Rosser. You have been charged in case 25 CR 002127F with battery family violence and simple battery family violence. It's my understanding that this is his first arrest. Mr. Melgiza?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident is from yesterday, April 23rd. There are two locations. One is a precinct at 2353 Metropolitan Parkway Southwest, Atlanta, Georgia. The other one is 2370 Metropolitan Parkway Southwest, Atlanta, Georgia. That's where the victim lives. Your Honor, officers arrived at the precinct in reference to a disturbance in the lobby of the location. Officers spoke with the victim, Nakia Rosser, who stated that her husband, the defendant, had been physically and verbally aggressive towards her all day. She stated that she didn't call 911 earlier because that defendant is her husband and she doesn't want to get him in trouble. But after experiencing this all day, she decided to walk to the precinct and talk to the police. The victim stated that once inside the precinct, the defendant slapped her twice in the head. Officer A. Harris, who was working the front desk, witnessed the defendant striking the victim in the head. That's when he placed the defendant in custody. The responding officer observed that the victim had a busted lip, and she complained that her head was hurting, but she refused any medical attention. The victim did file for a TPO for family violence against the defendant on March 10th, 2025. That number is 25CV003179. But she actually decided not to go through with the TPO. We spoke with the victim. She stated that they actually live together. They share no children. She confirmed the events in the warrant. She stated that this is not the first time that the defendant has been violent towards her. And also not the first time that she has called the police and the police has been involved. The victim stated that this is the first time that he has actually been arrested for violence against her, though. According to the victim, the defendant was banned from the apartment complex due to his behavior, but she actually let him back in. She said that she's in fear of the defendant and she does not wish to have any contact. Your Honor, given the nature of the incident and the fact that he stroked the victim in front of an officer inside a precinct, the state's recommendation is a $2,000 surety bond, family violence intervention program, stay away from 2370 Metropolitan Parkway Southwest, no further contact with Nakia Rosser, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while on bond. If we can please sound for Miss Nakia Rosser in case she wishes to be heard.
Ms. Rosser is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity. Does not appear so. Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, I was from the state. I was wondering now, is the TPO when y'all say she decided to not go through with it, does that mean he wasn't served it and didn't have the contents of it?
I'm not 100% sure. I think he was in place for 30 days, but she didn't follow through after that.
Okay. Okay. I was just wondering if he had notice of the contents, if it was official. Your Honor, he is 23 years old. Mr. Rosser is a high school graduate. He does work. We would ask the court to consider a anger management situation with a signature bond. He is from Georgia all his life. And of course, Your Honor is aware they're married. Thank you.
With simple battery, it will be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. For the battery, a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1 makes for a total of a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. 3 days of anger awareness, no further contact with Ms. Rosser, stay away from the Metropolitan Parkway address. He can go back to that address on one occasion if necessary with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, sir.
Position number 19, Sheet.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sheets. You have been charged in case 25 CR 002130G with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
8. Last arrest was on the 5th of this month for shoplifting, NOLO. 2025 trespass conviction. 2024 trespass conviction. 2024 failure to appear. 2023 trespass conviction. 2020 trespass NOLO. He's homeless.
Ms. Melgiza?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident is from yesterday, April 23rd. Location is Phipps Plaza, located at 3500 Peachtree Road, Atlanta. Officer met with Phipps Plaza security, who took the officer to the location where the defendant was. The defendant was in the parking deck, sitting down on a bench. The defendant had been criminally trespassed from the location before on March 26, 2025. The defendant was arrested. Your Honor, the state's recommendation is a signature bond through pretrial, stay away from Phipps Plaza, a social service visit, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while on bond.
Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, Christopher Sheets is 23. He disagrees about the prior notice, but He worked in a restaurant for the last 6 months. He's worked in a factory before that involved the printing industry. He will obey court orders, he says, as long as he does need to have a clear understanding of where to be away from. And he says he'll obey that. So we would ask the court to follow the signature bond recommendation.
Given his history, it's going to be a 200. Your client has his hand up, Mr. McLean. Do you want to address him before I pronounce the bond?
Yes, Your Honor. Could he call me on extension 2-5215?
You need to speak with your attorney, Mr. Sheets. I'm happy to give you that opportunity. Speaking there, but he's on mute, so Deputy, if you, so Mr. Sheets, do you need to speak with Mr. McLean?
I
Mr.
guess
Sheets.
I'm letting God have a prior arrest from the Lennox Mall, and I don't. But he's trying to just
Okay. So that's what you want to tell him?
y'all can see that.
Okay.
First
going to
of
be
all, Your Honor, Phipps and Lennox are two different malls. I need to have him call me.
okay. If you'll have Mr. Sheets call we'll have to do this at the end because you're the only one left, Mr. McLean. So let
Right.
me get through the calendar and I'll let you speak with him and speak with once the interpreter gets on the line, speak with her. Do we have anyone else that we can take at the present time? And we'll come back to Mr. Sheets.
Whitfield, 20.
Got it. Okay.
Good afternoon,
Oh,
Mr.
let's stop on plane, so you're gonna have to wait till the end.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Mr. Whitfield. You have been charged in case 25 CR 002131C with fleeing or attempting to elude a police officer, driving while your license was suspended or revoked, reckless driving, a seatbelt violation, attempting to misrepresent a tag, failure to obey signs or control devices, and making an improper U-turn. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
8th arrest. Last arrest was on the 17th. Possession of marijuana. 2019 suspended license. 2 arrests from 2019. 2019 theft by taking. 2015 shoplifting, marijuana possession. That's all.
Ms. Algiza?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident is from April 16, 2025. The location is the intersection of Headland Drive and Greenbrier Parkway. Officer observed a vehicle driven by the defendant make a left turn on a red light and attempted to conduct a traffic stop. The officer activated the emergency lights and sirens, but the defendant refused to stop. The defendant made an illegal U-turn with no seatbelt on while staring at the officer and drove off at a high rate speed, weaving in and out of traffic, driving recklessly, and also failing to maintain his lane. While maintaining a safe distance, the officer ran the license plate on the vehicle driven by the defendant, and it came back as no longer registered, and it was not associated with the said vehicle. Officer checked who the last owner of the vehicle was, and the defendant's name came up. Officer went to the defendant's last known address. Once there, he spoke with the defendant's father and mother, who advised that the defendant does live there and that he owns the vehicle in question. While speaking with the defendant's parents, the defendant exited through the rear of the residence and drove off in the vehicle. The officer conducted a further investigation and discovered that the defendant's driver's license has been suspended since March 12, 2025. Your Honor, given the nature of the incident and the risk of danger to the public by driving in this manner, the state's recommendation is a $5,000 surety bond, no driving while license is suspended, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while on bond.
Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, Mr. Whitfield is a 2008 local high school graduate. He's worked at a restaurant and he's worked in real estate area of business in the sense of cleaning out and doing landscaping for real estate companies. He asked the court to, under these circumstances, consider the lowest bond possible. If that's not a signature bond, Your Honor, he would ask the court to consider a 1,000 surety.
Okay, this is going to be a split bond. For the fleeing or attempting to elude, $1,000 good bond. For the reckless, $1,000 good bond. For the driving or license suspended, will be $1,000 signature bond through the jail. The seatbelt violation, attempting to misrepresent tag, failure to obey stop signs and signals, making an improper U-turn, each will be a $250 signature bond through the jail. So it will be a total of a $2,000 good bond and a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. No driving without a valid license. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Ms. Bridgewater, did you get all that for me?
I have it, Your Honor.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Mhm.
All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Whitfield. Anyone else that we can take, or are there any announcements?
Is position one going to be here today? I know we have reset him multiple times.
Who's that?
It's
Mr.
Ms.
Ale?
James. Yes, Mr. L.
No,
It's
Mr.
my-
Ale competency situation. I'm going, either I or Mr. Bartels will file the paperwork for competency or for the MHET or whatever it is.
I'll need an order for an MHET, Mr. McLean.
Right.
So are
we
we
have-
gonna go ahead and make a ruling on the bond?
I
It's
think the
my
court,
understanding that Ms. Judge Law, we're not to reset this anymore.
no, it's going to the competency counter. I think the court did give a bond, did it not?
No, it was on yesterday.
The-
And we
the issue-
set up to today.
It's both answers. The issue is that there was a mental health reset, and today's the fourth time he's been on the docket. So if what we're doing is asking him to be reset to the competency calendar, then he needs a bond today, as well.
Is he gonna be given a place to stay away from? Ms.
Yes.
Belgizo? Okay,
Yes, Your
where is
Honor.
that?
All MARTA property.
All of Marta?
Yes, Your Honor. And he
As
has a
such for each-
previous MARTA suspension.
Okay. As such, for each charge will be $1,000 good bond, stay away from all MARTAs, the MHET order, which will be presented by Mr. McLean or someone to me, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Okay,
And,
We're
and
this on the competency calendar?
yes,
Okay.
I guess, which one would that be the same?
I'm
The
sorry,
same
I'm saying
count?
once again.
It's a $2,000 good bond, 1,000 per charge.
Okay.
Okay, the SAP 5/8 is the Thursday SAP calendar, so you just want to keep him on that and put him on the competency calendar on that date.
We can, if that's what you all want.
It's fine with me, Mr. McLean.
that's fine. That's fine.
Okay,
Okay, so I'm gonna put him on the comp calendar on May the 8th.
okay. Mr. McLean, it looks like we're not sure when we can have a interpreter here. The interpreter doesn't know how long it's going to be until.
Your Honor, in the situation with Mr. Laguna, he has an ice hold, so there's minimal harm from
Is there going to be is there going to be a problem with rescheduling him for tomorrow?
I don't have a problem with that, no.
Ms. Allen?
No, no problem.
Okay, so we'll, and that was, who is that? Is that position Mr. Evans? Is that who
That's
that is?
on Brisina. Brisina.
What position is that?
Mr. Laguna? Is
Yeah,
that what
Laguna.
we're talking about? He's position 12.
Okay,
Right.
thank you. Mr. Laguna will be reset until 4:24. I mean, 4:25, excuse me. Courtroom 2, what about position 6, Daryl Evans?
Released.
Oh, yeah, released.
Okay.
Yeah, he got released.
Alright.
I thought we did Evans.
We didn't.
Well, who history did I give?
Only you can
Huh.
answer that.
Oh, it's
There
number
was a
7,
different,
MacArthur Evans.
yeah, there was a different Evans.
So hold on, we didn't do Darrell or we did MacArthur.
We did MacArthur.
Oh Lord, yeah, I gave the wrong history for that one.
I think that was Emily Latella from Saturday Night Live, was it not?
Okay, so Mr. McLean, why don't we just go ahead and place you into a breakout room with courtroom 2 so that you can discuss whatever needs to be discussed with your client
And-
there.
And if I may, this may make it clear, he was not arrested for criminal trespass on the March 26, 25 date. He was just given notice that he couldn't return to Phipps Plaza. I don't know if that helps.
No, that was not the issue. I think
Oh,
his
okay.
has to do with future awareness and future restrictions, and so we're going to straighten out that.
Okay.
Okay. So, Mr. McLean, do you mind being placed into a breakout room with courtroom 2?
No, Your Honor, thank you. There's oh no, that was just my low power thing. I thought that was the join thing popped up. I'm ready for the breakout.
Grace?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if you'll place courtroom 2 and Mr. McLean into a breakout room, please.
Okay, and I just got another update from Miss Lucia. She says she may be on in about 10 to 15 minutes.
Know that we've rescheduled the case.
Okay,
So
thank
she can take her time.
Thank you.
Mr. McLean, were you able to communicate with anybody on behalf of your client yesterday? Because it was reset so you could call someone. So if Miss Lucia is here tomorrow.
I got a couple of more names to Google, making some progress.
Okay, well, this case was on yesterday. We had an interpreter, and it doesn't look like Mr. McLean was able to do or make any contact with anyone with the defendant who has an ICE hold, I think he just announced, on position 12. He's also got an open case, so he's in violation of a bond for a battery against the same victim. We would just request no further recess if it resets, if it's to contact someone in his family. We should have already addressed this at this point.
Okay. So let's go ahead and finish up with Mr. Sheets. So go ahead and place courtroom 2 and Mr. McLean into a breakout room, please. And we'll be in recess until they return. Thank you all.
Thank you. Hi, sweetheart. Thank you for being here. They just reset this case, but I'm going to argue that we need to go ahead and handle it, okay?
Okay, do you want, I'll hold on and see. So
Thank you.
sorry.
Oh, no. You were
just
here
an
yesterday and it should have been heard yesterday. We'll
An
figure it
attorney
out.
got very long-winded. Who knew?
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. McLean, was there any further argument on Mr. Sheets? You're on mute there.
Whoops, I'm on mute, sorry. No, Your Honor, I think I mentioned that he was a local high school graduate and had worked in an ink factory and a restaurant. So I think we covered it.
Okay, as such, it will be a $250 good bond, a social worker visit to assist with housing or any other needs. Stay away from Phipps Plaza on Peachtree Road, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Sheets. Mr. McLean, we have Madam Interpreter here now. Can we go ahead and proceed with your client today?
Yes, Your Honor, we can.
Do you need to speak with him again before I have that hearing?
No, Your Honor. After I talked to him this morning without an interpreter, I tried for some more names. I Googled those names. I came up with nothing so far. So I just
Okay, so
wanted to let
that
him
as
know
long
that.
okay, so I'll let you. So if you need for him to know something, then you might want to go into a breakout room.
Let's do a quick breakout and I'll just inform him of that.
Okay. So if we can place Mr. McLean, courtroom 2, and Madam Interpreter, thank you for being here this afternoon. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Your Honor. I apologize for being tardy.
No apologies necessary. It's let's see. Can we go ahead and place them into a breakout room, Miss Grace, please?
Holly. Hey, what's the bond amount for number 4? I know it's SOB jail.
Number 4 is 2,000.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. McLean back with us? It's Grace. Are they still in the breakout? Where are they?
Yes, sir.
Courtroom 2 is
But
back
they go
with us,
courtroom. Let me get him out. I see courtroom 2. Okay.
and the interpreter.
Judge,
Yes, Mr. Howard.
can you swap for tomorrow? It's 20 people on this pool sheet for tomorrow already.
Oh, that's not we had 20 on the sheet for today.
Judge, that's only supposed to be on Mondays. We ain't supposed to have this stuff during the week. It's
How
20
many
people.
people? 20 right
20.
now?
Well, 19 because they got to take Laguna off. He's already on here for tomorrow. So this is not good.
No comment.
Oh, this is not good.
We could finish today if we could get Mr. McLean back.
Judge, have you received what I sent you?
Oh, I have it here. You should have let me know earlier, Miss Bridgewater. I
That's
could've-
okay. That's okay. I'm just trying to get through the day too.
I understand.
Hmm.
There we go. That's
All right.
ready. That's ready, Your
Okay.
Honor. We
Very
accomplished.
good. Okay, very good. Madam Interpreter, if you raise your right hand for me, please. Do you swear affirm you will interpret from English to Spanish, Spanish to English to the best of your ability?
I do.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Laguna. You have been charged in case 25 CR 002113F with battery family violence.
Buenas tardes, señor Laguna. Usted ha sido acusado en el caso 25 CR 002113F por la acusación, con el cargo de violencia doméstica.
Mr. Howard, it's my understanding that Mr. Laguna has been before me before.
Correct. On his last arrest, you gave him this was 2024, 3,000 pretrial bond. Only other arrest was 2023, alien inadmissibility and an ice hole.
Entonces, el juez le pide antecedentes en la corte y él dice, los antecedentes es que usted tiene un caso abierto del 2024 cuando estuvo enfrente de este mismo juez y él le dio una fianza de $3,000 y con órdenes judiciales y ahora usted no cumplió con eso y ahora tiene una retención de inmigración.
Ms. Allen?
Thank you, Your Honor. This is an incident from October 2024. There's been an outstanding warrant since then.
La fiscal dice que este es un incidente de octubre del 2024. Ha habido una orden de captura desde entonces en contra suya.
The open case is 24 CR 005214F.
El caso anterior es del 24 CR 005214F.
That incident date was July of 2024.
La fecha de ese incidente fue julio del 2024.
Same victim, same location.
Misma víctima, mismo lugar.
Police were called in October to 8350 Roswell Road, Apartment G.
La policía fue llamada en octubre a la dirección de 8350 Roswell Road en el departamento G.
The victim, her name is Freilin Hidalgo Villarra.
La víctima se llama Freilin Hidalgo Villalba.
was seen to have a bloody laceration on the top of her head that was bleeding down the front of her face.
Vio que tenía un corte en la parte de arriba de su cabeza y sangraba y la sangre le corría por la cara.
She reported that the defendant, who had recently moved out, had come to the location.
Ella reportó que el acusado, que recientemente se había mudado, regresó a la ubicación.
And during an argument, he took her cell phone and struck her in the head with it, causing that injury.
Y durante el argumento, él tomó el teléfono y le pegó en la cabeza con el teléfono.
The defendant fled once he realized she was calling police.
El acusado se fugó una vez que ella determinó que le estaban llamando a la policía.
Officers were told that this was not the first incident, and an arrest warrant was taken out for the defendant.
Los agentes de policía vieron que este no fue el primer incidente, entonces emitieron la orden de captura.
He was picked up on the 22nd of April on a traffic violation, Your Honor.
Lo recogieron el 22 de abril en una violación de la ley de tránsito.
His open case bond you just heard is a $3,000 SOB through pretrial.
Como usted escuchó, su señoría, la fianza anterior del caso anterior fueron de $3,000 con una fianza únicamente bajo firma.
We'd ask for a $4,000 surety today. And again, an order in the bond to stay away from 8350 Roswell Road.
Lo que nosotros pedimos es una fianza asegurada, esta vez, por $4,000, una orden judicial de permanecer lejos de la dirección de 8350 Roswell Road.
To stay away from the victim and have no contact with her whatsoever.
Permanecer lejos de la víctima y no tener ninguna comunicación con la víctima.
And no drugs, alcohol, or weapons, Your Honor.
No puede beber bebidas alcohólicas mientras está libre bajo fianza. No puede usar ninguna droga, no puede poseer ninguna arma.
We did try to get in touch with the victim, but were unsuccessful. But if you would sound for her, Mrs. Hidalgo Villara.
Tratamos de comunicar con la víctima, pero no pudimos comunicarnos. De todas formas, vamos a ver si es que ella está en la llamada de Zoom. Your Honor, do you want me to go ahead and sound that? Si la señora Hidalgo Villaga se encuentra en la llamada de Zoom, ¿puede abrir su cámara y su micrófono, por favor?
Does not appear so. Thank you. Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, it would appear from the previous bond conditions that it would be unreasonable, would be unrealistic, I'll put it that way. It would be unrealistic of me to be expecting a signature bond out of Your Honor today. But while the state is asking for $4,000 surety, I think it would be good to point out that a $1,000 or $2,000 surety would make a similar point and not be quite as expensive. It still would be a dollar amount that he would have to lay out to a bonding company or other means. And the conditions they spoke of are appropriate. Thank you.
El abogado defensor indica que, aunque obviamente no va a pedirle a su señoría que le dé otra fianza nada más bajo su firma, debido a lo pasado, entonces, pero que el punto sería hecho si la fianza puede ser nada más de $1,000 o $2,000, bajo la cual tendría que poner dinero para poder salir bajo fianza. Y las otras términos de la fianza serían aceptables.
Client has his hand up, Mr. McLean.
Is it a question about procedure, or is it a question about the arguments we've made?
Tiene su pregunta que tiene por la que está levantando la mano. No, no es para que hable. La pregunta que usted tiene es sobre este procedimiento en este momento, o es sobre los argumentos que tiene usted sobre el caso.
No, está bien, está en lo correcto.
He needs to, we said, that's fine. We make mistakes sometimes. What do we correct?
¿Qué es lo que tenemos que hacer?
Lo que no le entendí es si pagan la fianza mañana, ¿cómo saldría o no saldría?
What I don't understand is if I make bond, whatever amount is given, do I get to leave or not?
No, you have a hold.
No, usted tiene una retención.
Y si no pago el dinero,
And if I don't bond out with the money,
You stay.
se queda.
¿cuánto tiempo?
How long?
Weeks, possibly months.
Semanas, posiblemente meses.
Okay. ¿De cuánto? ¿De 2,000?
Is it 2,000 then?
The judge will tell us what it is.
El juez todavía no ha dado su fallo. El juez va a dar la orden.
Ok, sí contactó el número de mi hermano.
Have you contacted my brother?
You just No, we have not contacted your brother. You told us about your brother today.
No, no hemos comunicado con su hermano. Nos dijo sobre su hermano hoy.
Ok, pero, o sea, como usted llamó a la oficina de Acuario.
Well, since you called the taxi office.
Okay, you all can speak on this at a later time.
These are
As for
right. These are relevant matters.
As for today, the bond will be a $5,000 good bond. No further contact with the alleged victim. Stay away from her residential address. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond.
El fallo del juez es el siguiente. Eso que usted estaba hablando es algo que tiene que hablar con su abogado. El juez falla de la siguiente manera. El bono de fianza va a ser asegurado y es por la cantidad de $5,000. No puede tener, la orden judicial incluye 0 contacto, nada de contacto con la víctima. Debe permanecer lejos siempre y en todo momento de esa dirección y no puede beber bebidas alcohólicas, usar drogas o poseer ninguna arma mientras está bajo fianza.
Ok. ¿Hay que pagarla de una vez o puedo firmar o sea, puedo firmar y luego pagarla? ¿Cómo haría?
Okay, how do I pay for that bond? Do I pay for it to leave? Do I sign and then pay it later? How do I pay?
If the deputies will have him call me on my desk phone, I can explain property bond, cash bond, and regular bond with the bonding company.
El policía le va a llamar a su abogado para que explicarle cómo funcionan los bonos de fianza.
Okay, good luck to you, sir.
Buena suerte, señor.
Okay, thank you.
I believe that's our last case. As such, Ms. Bridgewater, whenever you're ready, Madam Interpreter, thank you so much for jumping on with us this afternoon. We appreciate it.
You're welcome, Your Honor. You have a good afternoon.
Thank you. You as well. We'll see you next time.
Bye now.
Okay, once again, the reset date for the SAP calendar is May the 8th. Position number 1 is going to the comp calendar on May 8th with a total $2,000 good bond. Position 2 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 3 is going to the SAP calendar with a $1,000 good bond. Position 4, reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. Position 5, SAP calendar with a total $5,000 good bond. 6 is reset further notice as the defendant has been released. 7 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $3,000 good bond. 8, reset further notice with a total $4,000 SOB through pretrial. 9 is reset further notice with a $3,000 total SOB through pretrial. 10, SAP calendar with a $2,000 good bond. 11 is reset further notice with a $5,000 SOB through the jail. Position 12, SAP calendar with a $5,000 good bond. 13, reset further notice with a $5,000 SOB through pretrial. 14, going to the SAP calendar with a total $500 good bond. 15 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. Position 16 is going to the comp calendar for May the 1st with a $500 good bond. 17 is reset further notice with a total $5,000 SOB through pretrial. 18 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through pretrial. 19 is going to the SAP calendar with a $250 good bond. Position 20 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $4,000 split bond. On the add-on calendar, it is going to the SAP calendar with a total $4,000 good bond. Are there any questions, comments, or otherwise? Speak now, forever hold your peace.
Thank you.
All right.
I'm
Thank you
amazed.
all.
Oh, we make it.
All right. Y'all have a good weekend. I will see you next week. Y'all are stuck with me pretty much every day next week. So
Thank you, Your Honor.
We'll be stuck.
And, Your Honor, can I introduce you to one of our new staff? This
Oh,
is
please do.
Mr. Christopher McClinick is a former Secret Service agent retired, as well as a former federal prosecutor, U.S. attorney retired. And he's in our office right now doing work in the background with some processes and assisting us with his expertise, but has been with us in the SEA SAP unit for the last couple of weeks. So I wanted to introduce him to you. He was watching today.
Thank you so much. Good to have you, Mr. McClinick. We appreciate it so much. Glad to have you on board.
Thank you for having me, Your Honor. Hopefully my presence in the background hasn't caused any issues whatsoever. I tried to keep the noise level down and just do some observation. It's been a pleasure, by the way.
No worries, no worries. Nice to meet you, sir.
Thank you, sir. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good weekend, Your Honor.
Bye-bye.
All right,
I'll
thank
see
you
you
all.
all
Thank you.
tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
All right.
I'll start working tonight, Mr. Howard.
I may as well too. Okay.